So here's my take on marketing return on investment, or ROI. Taking it seriously will provide big financial benefit. I think many marketers don't like to focus on ROI because it shines a bright light on failure. So they say things like, well, it's impossible to track the response to this kind of marketing. First of all, some measure of response can be measured if you get creative, and that may be the topic of a future blog post. But more importantly, ROI should be modeled before the money is spent to see if the expenditure is wise. Let me explain with two examples that employ different channels. Because I've already posted a video rant about Twitter, I'm going to use some old school channels as examples, but the mindset applies to all channels, old and new. In direct mail, we can know lots of things before the first dime is spent. First of all, you should know how much each response or sale is worth to you. Once you know how much a response is worth, you need to figure out how much you're willing to pay for that response. You also know the size of the list you're mailing to, and you know your expenses for design, print, and postage. So, let's say, in this direct mail campaign, $30 is your max cost per response you want to pay. You pay anything more than $30 and you're going to be eating into profit. Let's say your total estimated campaign cost for design, postage, and print costs $15,000, and you have 1,000 names on your rather high quality list. Now let's do the math. $15,000 in total expense divided by the $30 cost per response you would like to pay or less equals 500 responses at your break-even point. You need to get 500 responses or you're paying more than $30 for each response. Now, those 500 responses are coming out of a 1,000-piece mailing list. So take the 500 divided by 1,000 and you have a 50% break-even response rate on this campaign. Now, while I can show you marketing case studies that got well over a 50% response, that outcome is so unusual that it became a case study. In the real world, no one is going to get a 50% response on direct mail. Kill this turkey before you spend a dime. Or maybe you can tweak it. Can you lower the expenses? Can you increase your list from 1,000 people while still keeping it high quality? Or can you change your offer so a response is worth more to you? Let's have a second example. With a radio spot, let's say you have an insurance company and you want to sell insurance on different kinds of commercial vehicles. You know from the Registry of Motor Vehicle data that there are 1,000 such vehicles in your market area, and you earn $200 on each policy sold. And you're willing to spend $50 for each sale that you make. Let's also say that a marketing company wants to charge you $40,000 for some incredible radio spots to sell your product. Well, with all these facts, let's do the math. $40,000 in total campaign costs divided by the $50 you're willing to spend means you have to sell 800 policies to break even. That 800 policies divided over the 1,000 total in your area means you have to get an 80% market share from advertising on one radio station among all the stations in your area. Now, you might change this a little bit and calculate the lifetime value of a customer instead of a single year. But however you calculated it, this campaign would still be a turkey. This campaign defies logic, yet this example is based on a real situation that I'm aware of. Now, you might say that the people involved were stupid and you are much smarter, but this was the result of a very smart business owner delegating to his very creative agency. Often, you don't have the exact numbers about some key variables like market size, but there's lots of information on the internet and you can still use guesses to get a good gut check on whether the marketing expense makes sense. So start doing upfront return on investment calculations. You may be surprised. Your biggest challenge may be to figure out how to spend your marketing budget effectively after you scrub all your ineffective marketing. And I'd be glad to help you with that.